Well, it's been a while since we've talked about the tension between the U.S. and Canada, but the friction is now hitting a new high with President Trump suspending all trade negotiations with our neighbors to the north. And it's all over this TV commercial that is airing here in the U.S. and paid for by Ontario.
High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs. America's jobs and growth are at stake.
So Ontario's premier released that ad more than a week ago, but it was very early this morning that President Trump responded with this social media post, calling the ad fake and saying, quote, based on their egregious behavior, all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. Now, the president followed that with another post. You can see it here. He said, without evidence, that Canada is illegally trying to influence our Supreme Court, which will rule on tariffs. And he falsely claimed that President Reagan, quote, loved tariffs. That is just not true. I watched the entire 5-minute speech from President Reagan that was referenced there in the ad. Parts of it played. It was April 25th, 1987. He had just imposed new tariffs on Japan for not enforcing its trade agreement with the U.S. President Reagan said it was a step he was, quote, loath to take. He spent most of that speech extolling the virtues of free trade and arguing against tariffs, as he did often. That's why Canada used this speech in particular. Reagan was no fan of tariffs. Despite that, Republican Congressman Nick Langworthy from here in Western New York put out a statement today praising the president and calling the Ontario ad, quote, dishonest, and saying it was wildly inappropriate and deeply offensive. Dr. Scott Laing is a clinical assistant professor of finance at UB School of Management, and he's kind enough to be live here with us on a Friday night to help us understand this. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
We've talked to you a lot about tariffs, and President Trump obviously is a big fan of tariffs. He campaigned on this. We knew he was going to institute tariffs. But just a quick history lesson. Ronald Reagan was not a fan of tariffs.
No, you're completely right. Ronald Reagan was famously a fan of free trade and lowering taxes and promoting competition for our businesses. And so in the 80s, Japan was not really playing fair, and they were dumping their semiconductors and causing it difficult for American companies to compete. And as a last resort, Ronald Reagan had to impose tariffs on Japan as a country, but it was mainly used as a negotiating tactic, and it was, again, a last resort, unlike President Trump, who kind of uses blanket tariffs across all the countries to try and get some sort of negotiation going.
Just to update everybody, we did learn late today that the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, who put out that commercial, says he'll stop airing it on Monday so that hopefully the U.S. and Canada can get back to negotiations. But that ad will air during Game 1 and Game 2 of the World Series. How effective, and I know that you're not a political scientist, but using Reagan's words seems like a way of maybe trying to break through on the tariff issue.
Sure. I mean, Ronald Reagan is still very much respected amongst conservative groups, and this ad spend, particularly during the World Series, it's $75 million in ad spend that's going into this campaign. It might have some sway on some voters in ancillary states near the Canadian border in the United States, trying to stress those tariff difficulties for businesses and how difficult it is to compete and keep prices low. But it remains to be seen if that'll actually have any, wiggle room for the average voter. Canada
is so important to Western New York's economy, and that's why we followed this tariff issue with Canada so closely. How concerned should we be that there is at least this delay in continued negotiations with Canada?
Oh, I think it's terrible, to be honest. The fact that now that this ad is causing all negotiations to break down when the tariffs are already at 25%, if not 35%, depending on which goods are coming and going from the border, that just slows things down and causes prices to stay elevated for most consumers here in Western New York, and it makes it difficult for most of our local businesses. When I think of Buffalo, I think of breweries and aluminum can productions, lumber, and new constructions. Those prices are still elevated, and we do still heavily trade with Canada. Nearly $3 billion of trade between the United States and Canada exists every single day, and so these tariffs getting delayed and some sort of trade deal being reached is really detrimental for local economies and all economies at that border.
There were concerns early on in all of this that we would see prices prices skyrocket as a result of tariffs. And I know, depending on, some goods have seen substantial increases, but we haven't seen across the board out of control inflation at this point. Why is that?
No, that's a great point. The inflation numbers actually came in today a bit cooler than was expected, which caused the markets to kind of react very positively. A lot of companies saw that the tariffs were about to be implemented and purchased a lot of materials in bulk early on. So the lumber prices are slowly creeping up, the aluminum prices are slowly creeping up, and consumers are only going to be starting to feel it. It took a little while for it to kind of hit the average retail space. Until then, we'll see if prices continue to rise. We'll see how labor market conditions influence those prices, and interest rate environment has rates coming down. So all those factors coming together really kind of make it more of a nebulous story as to what's going to actually happen. We're
going to dig a little bit more into that inflation report coming up in just a few minutes. Professor Scott Laing with the University at Buffalo School of Management, always helping us understand the trade stuff and the tariff stuff. It's complicated, but good to have your insight.
Thank you.